17 brings us Toronto, taking on Charlotte from BMO Field. Sasha, Toronto, sell me some hope with this team here for the 2025 season.
Difficult to do, Kev, but Federico Bernardeschi is the main man who's going to have to carry the load for this Toronto FC team. He's coming off the midweek where he was suspended due to yellow card accumulation, so he will be rested for the weekend. Force feed him the ball, and he is the guy that can make things happen for Robin Fraser's side. They also have to be better defensively. They've lost back-to-back home games. They need to shut out at the back, get the ball to Bernardeschi.
You're talking about Charlotte. The first thing that comes to my mind is inconsistent and not defending well. So now I look at them in a game like this where I'm thinking of game changers. Pep Biel's been unbelievable. He's created probably the most chances in the league. And then it's what do you get from Adjaman, what do you get from Zaha? These two players have to be game changers. They have to be a bit more consistent for them to be getting a result. But you're playing against Toronto. I expect them to go in there after losing the last game and get 3 points.
Yeah, lots of transition moments potentially for Adjaman on the road here against Toronto. This match coming your way from BMO Field, and it's live right here on MLS Season Pass.
Toronto contra el equipo de Charlotte, partido que se jugará en la casa del equipo de TFC en Canadá, con dos equipos que se van a buscar recuperar, pero con dos historias diferentes, porque para el equipo de Toronto, obviamente, una escuadra que no la pasa nada bien esta campaña.
Sí, no la pasa bien, pero nos muestra momentos interesantes de progreso de Robin Fraser como técnico. Prácticamente un partido contra Filadelfia que parecía que lo iba a ganar y al final Filadelfia
What's up, TFC fans? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. TFC against Charlotte at home, BMO Field. Let's go. Come on, TFC. Let's bring it back to the fortress that this place used to be. We are sick and tired of watching you guys get beat up and down the field every single week, and then the coach laughing about it afterwards and saying it was a good performance by the team. No, we don't want any of that stuff. Come on, TFC. Let's go. Let's bring this back to what we used to be, like winning trophies and getting awards, like these silver plaques, silver play buttons presented to Toronto Sports Insider. TFC till I die. Let's go, TFC. It's a big game today. We got to start putting results together every single week, or else it's going to be too late. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like button. Please share this link out. Let's bring more football fans, soccer fans, whatever you call it, here to our awesome Toronto sports community. Also, on a side note, please check out the link that is in the description, and we'll probably send you there afterwards as well. But we're live right earlier today for my son's game over on our soccer channel, Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central. So make sure you check that out. And of course, I have no idea where the thumbnail is. There it is. Boom. Evolution today going to move up to D2. D2 promotion on the line this afternoon. I will be live on SOP Soccer providing play-by-play, and Tom will be mic'd up in goal or out in the field, depending on where he's playing. So make sure you hang out and listen to this and watch this with us. Come hang out with us. We'll see you in the chat. Come on, TFC. Let's go. Let's bring it back to the old days. Let's get some wins. Let's start stringing some results together. We've got to see better out of this team. This is unacceptable. We'll see you back in the chat.
Hello there, MLS fans. Welcome into your weekly DraftKings Sportsbook preview. Matchday 17 brings us a massive Western Conference matchup as Seattle continues their march to the Club World Cup when they face off with Minnesota United for the very first time this season. Now, Seattle won all 3 meetings in 2024, scoring multiple goals each time out. On DraftKings Sportsbook, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just download the app and use the promo code STRIKER when you sign up.
This is the win probability. Tells you a lot about the form of both of these sides. They only have 2 away wins between them. But Charlotte, on a wretched run away from Bank of America Stadium, still favoured by 41.9% to get the 3 points on the road tonight. Toronto, 30.2% for them. The man in charge of the game tonight is Joe Dickerson, having a word there with Robin Fraser, the TFC head coach. It's his first visit here this season. He reffed the Miami victory here on October the 5th. It's the team of officials here. Down in Arlington, Texas, Lihiao Aragin is our video official tonight. VAR assisted by TJ Zablocky. We saw him with the referee there, and wishing for a few things to go his way, I'm sure at the moment, is Robin Fraser. He's seeing positives, but he's also seeing negatives in the win column right now. Lorenzo Insigne does return for Toronto tonight. He was rested in midweek. A gut punch of a defeat for TFC late against the Eastern Conference leaders. This man is finding the net. Wilfried Zaha is finding form, as is Patrick Adjumang, soon to be back off on US men's national team duty. But they're not getting the results either. And with that in mind, David Bingham comes in. His first MLS start for Charlotte. Christian Kalina, the MLS referee, goalkeeper of the year, dropped tonight to the bench. At the other end, many happy returns, Sean Johnson, 36 today. The veteran has been outstanding for TFC in a difficult year so far. Sun has come out, the skies have cleared. It's a big weekend in Canadian soccer. Not so long ago, Toronto were the team vying for the trophies. Right now, victories would be enough. Charlotte have gone off the boil in part due to a lot of road games. Can they repeat their last trip to Canada and take 3 points? We're about to find out on MLS Season Pass as away we go from BMO Field. And it's Toronto tonight, back in all white, playing from right to left, and the crown of Charlotte in their black. Well, it's barely 72 hours since I left this commentary box after the game on Wednesday night here. Back to my right, though. Welcome home, Ross Smith.
Good to be back beside you. It's good to see that the sky has brightened, as you said, is brisk. Both clubs, Tony, needing a breath of fresh air. And you start with the home club at Toronto. How much they need to ride that Norwegian wave right now of confidence up front. Ola Brynildsen. For once we're able to talk about a positive for the club right now, and it's that player who's playing really well. So it's all about getting service into him early and off to get him going into this match, going the other way. Dean Smith, he was very vocal about the lack of balls in behind and testing the back line with what is a very fluid and powerful front four for Charlotte. So look to that Adjumang, highlighting him, getting him isolated with Monlouis early on.
Here's Tyrese Spicer. The short ball a little bit too far in front of Insigne, cleared by Malanda. So a throw-in will come from the left-hand side, 2nd minute. It'll be taken by Raul Petretta. We spoke to Robin Fraser yesterday. At that point, without having had the numbers back and a full regen report on his players from Wednesday night, he was minded to stick with the back three, which worked pretty well against the Eastern Conference leaders, Philadelphia Union, here on Wednesday. But we believe it is a 4 tonight, and it's looking like it in these early stages, with Monlouis partnered by Lazar Stefanovic. Interestingly, Rosted and Long, who've been the back pairing in that back four, are both available. They're on the bench, but the difference tonight appears to be that Henry Wingo, who played 45 minutes on Wednesday night, having come back from injury, is back on the injured list. So more frustration for both those supporters and indeed for Robin Fraser, the Toronto coach.
Just wonder with Robin Fraser, is it more about long-term and Monlouis rather than Long and Rosted? That is the future, perhaps, in Robin Fraser's eyes. Stefanovic coming in as the right-sided centre-back. Because I'm with you, Tony. Rosted and Long have deputised well. They've done a good job for Robin Fraser when called upon.
The call has gone out as we look at that Charlotte team to David Bingham tonight. Vastly experienced goalkeeper in over 200 appearances in this league, and has been round the block and has been playing in this Charlotte team. He's played both of the US Open Cup ties that they've featured in this year, and also played Leagues Cup last year. But he gets his chance in the league. It's a big call from Dean Smith with Christian Kalina on the bench, the reigning MLS goalkeeper of the year. But A goalkeeper who has made his fair share of mistakes in the last month, and Dean Smith acknowledged that to us when we spoke to him yesterday evening.
I think this is a statement, and I know Kalina has had a bit going on outside the soccer pitch. He's got another child in his world. He's moved house. Dean Smith has gone on record to say these things, and so I wonder if it's a little bit of just have a rest tonight. Let's put you out of the firing line and give David Bingham an opportunity. But at the same time, there's a statement going out that anybody can be dropped, and I really do think other players would take note of that, thinking, right, if Kalina can find himself on the bench, so can I.
Yeah, the words from Dean Smith were, he's not had a good month at Christian Kalina, very much only referring to life on the field. Off the field, it's been great for him, and congratulations to him as well. But there's no hiding place for a goalkeeper. If you make a couple of mistakes, it's a tough existence.
Well, I think another player as well, Malanda. Just wonder with him, and what a fantastic centre-back he is. He ticks all the boxes in terms of attributes, but one box he's ticking right now is a mistake in matches where he's getting punished for it. So he needs a big night tonight for Dean Smith. So you got Tim Ream, who's on the bench. Privet had a mistake last game as well. Nobody's safe right now.
It says a lot about Toronto's struggles that we saw the score graphic from the last time they played in this stadium, that those seemed better days a year or so ago, just over a year ago, when Toronto opened their 2024 season with a 1-0 win against this Charlotte group. Lorenzo Insigne with a wonderful goal. They actually, at home, started last year pretty well, much better than they have this year. But ultimately it was a big tail off towards the end of the season, and then an off season of more change. And Robin Fraser coming in, of course. It's Privet's ball away. Here is Wilfried Zaha, the most fouled player in MLS. This time the whistle being pulled back, so something that happened before. So there is Robin Fraser. We've talked a lot about him already, and he saw his side surrender a late lead to the leaders, Philadelphia, and he said they've just got to develop a win at all costs mentality. That was a game that they got within 4 minutes of the 90th with a 1-0 lead, and ultimately not only dropped a couple of points, they dropped all the points.
He said afterwards, 98% of the game was really good. The commitment for players. How often has he said the word engagement as well? When we're engaged, we're at another level. But that final 2%, switching off and conceding at a corner, not getting yourself over the line, you wonder what that reaction would be coming into tonight, and how much for both teams would want to set things right before they get this little bit of a break, because you're only as good as your last hit is what it comes down to. So 3 points tonight can do a lot to erase the memories of May. A bad result can compound things.
Pretty forgettable month for both teams, although there's marquee results. As Monterey has to watch this, it went over the top, and it was Adjumang on the chase. It goes through in the end to Sean Johnson. But it's funny, they both actually have some standout results, but only one each during this last month, you would really say. TFC's win on the road at Montreal, got a victory over DC United as well, one home win here. For Charlotte, they beat Columbus at home, but otherwise it's been wretched.
I think the tough thing with that, both teams were so good in those results. I mean, Toronto, Tony, we were in the stadium for it, and I know Toronto were up a man for the majority of the match, but even before then, they were really looking like it, full of confidence. Brynhildsen, that was his sort of coming out game. And then for Charlotte against Columbus, they thumped Columbus. They could have scored another 4 goals quite easily. If Adjumang had his full scoring boots on and was clinical, he could have had 4 or 5 goals quite easily. They were so good, Charlotte. So to then go and have a drop-off after it, it's disappointing. Ask the question, well, who are we?
It's going to be a free kick for Charlotte. It's Shaquille Marshall-Rutty on his first return. The player who made his debut for this club as a 16-year-old comes in on loan, of course, for Charlotte tonight. Should have plenty of his family watching on. Dean Smith's been pleased with Marshall-Rutty's impact since he arrived in North Carolina. But he's been talking more generally about his team. He's labelled the results, but not the performances, as Ross was just referring to there, as not good enough in May. And he said, I'm responsible for picking a team, and you're responsible for your performance. That's what he told the players in the locker room at Sports Illustrated Stadium on Wednesday night, after they were beaten 4-2 by the New York Red Bulls. The free kick into the box. Flores wearing his gloves again tonight with the first clearance, and then booted away and out by Stefanovic.
Senior wasn't happy. He wanted Stefanovic to leave it for Johnson. The call from Johnson was a little late. But to that, Tony, it was interesting with Dean Smith saying that he went back over video and to see if there was anything structurally, tactically about the team. It wasn't. Individual errors, and you look at that month of May, goals for 10, goals against 19. And a Dean Smith side that last year we would praise the defensive efforts, how difficult they were to break down. Well, the month of May, it's gone out the window, and according to Dean Smith, for him, he feels it's just that those individual errors that players need to sharpen up.
And just to emphasize that point, the 19 goals they conceded, this is a team that in the whole of last season conceded 37. And they have conceded 27 in 16 games so far this term.
Look, I don't think it's helped Dean Smith, the fact that he's had injuries as well. And last year, there was consistency in the back four that he could pick. This year, it's had to chop and change. Privet's coming in and out, Tim Marine in and out. Dumia is only back now. They're missing a string of matches with injury. Marshall Ruddy has just come in. And last year, he pretty much knew game in, game out who the back four were going to be.
Nick Scardina's run of games as right back has ended this evening as Marshall Ruddy goes across there to play in the right back position tonight. I think with Charlotte, the phrase form is temporary, class is permanent is what they'll be leaning on and hoping on in these next few weeks, although they have a relatively quiet month coming up compared with what they've been through this month.
And if you move further up the pitch, I think you're starting to see more of that class with Wilfred Zaha. The last couple of matches, it's starting to come out more and more. Where the form hasn't quite been there to start his Charlotte life, it's been getting better.
Good chase from Abada, didn't want to keep it in. Adjabang, dangerous. Plays it back for Zaha, arriving Bronico. That was a really good chance in the end for Charlotte, and rather wasted by the player who returns to the starting lineup tonight.
Just wasn't decisive enough as Abada. So what we said, how he needs to turn on the afterburners and get after Petretta. He does it, but Adjabang there, that touch just gets away from him. He's always looking to link up. Finds Zaha, instead falls to Bronico, and it's not hit with any conviction. Never looked like it coming onto the ball.
Goal scoring not a particularly big feature of Brad Bronico's career. A man who gets up and down so well and is in that engine room and has got a goal for Charlotte this season, a well-taken one as well. But that time snatched at it a bit. Brynhildsen now, and he breaks away. He's got Cozy Thompson back from suspension, out on the right. He sizes up Doumbia.
Brynhildsen, he just couldn't line it up. It looked as though he had sights for goal. Couldn't get his touch out of his body.
Simon Dominguez has come into the Toronto midfield tonight. That's Azorio exchanging passes with Brynhildsen. Doumbia is in the way. That's Westwood, the ever-present every minute for Pep Biel. Biel marching forward. They'll stay on side, will they, for now? Flag stays down. As it's Adjabang trying to lay it off for Zaha. Flores reading that all the way.
Too loose, though. And that's a word that Dean Smith described. Adjabang's performance midweek, too loose. I thought before then, when Biel was coming forward, he had a chance to play Adjabang in, who peeled off and was looking for that ball. But Biel, too many touches.
There is the Mallorcan out to Zaha. Ashley Westwood in support, the captain.
Start coming into tonight, Tony, that Pep Biel almost needs a game to get back into the conversation of MVP. Only 1 goal, 1 assist in the last 6 matches. The start of the season, he was playing at such a high level. Hasn't quite been there. Ever since really Columbus away for Charlotte, Pep Biel couldn't play, at a tight hamstring. Tightened up his form a bit as well since.
Yeah, that one bit of magic on his return, but it's been hampered a little bit. This is good battling from Ajimang. The loose ball for Wilfred Zaha, stretching those long legs westward. That was a firm pass into Biel, difficult to control. Insigne to bring it away for TFC. 13 and a half scoreless minutes on what is now a sunny evening on Lakeshore.
The referee's letting them play. Players are all for, as long as it stays that way.
That's a little in contrast as well. Guido Gonzalez Jr. was the man in the middle on Wednesday night here, and it was quite a stop-start game at times. Mentioned the sun coming out late in the day, making it a glorious evening. Still, though, the temperature's pretty cool.
And it is blustery down there as well. We were down on the pitch beforehand. How does that affect defenders? Reading situations, balls coming to them.
Jonathan Osorio has gone down. The player spotlight is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy then returning to his hometown club. Born in Brampton. He played with Brampton East Soccer Club. He moved to Rush Academy in Oakville, and he joined the academy as an under-13. He was the youngest TFC homegrown to sign, and then the youngest first-team signing as a 15-year-old before making his debut in 2020. Of course, he went up the road to Montreal, and now he finds himself in Charlotte.
For the first time coming back to Toronto since he left, since he was bought for 1.3 million from Montreal, to Montreal from Toronto rather.
Westwards, TFC down to 10. Abala just wide. Another good sight of goal for the Crown. While TFC were numerically challenged down to 10, Osorio waiting to come back on the field.
Well, it should be. How quickly Abada, he just opens himself up, and Westwood, he finds him. But he almost hurries this a bit too much. His touch is getting away from him, and he has too much on the side of it. Drags it. Saying tonight it's a big opportunity for him to stake a claim on that right-hand side. To just feel out of those front forward positions, that's the one area that's up for grabs between him and Vargas.
Vargas, a scorer on Wednesday night in New York, on the bench for this one. A couple of good early chances, though, for Charlotte, and there's clinical moments. You can get yourself into a really good spot. Those of you, I'm sure, watching the Champions League final this afternoon, and the way Paris Saint-Germain really got themselves off and away and won the game in the first 20 minutes against Inter Milan with 2 goals. Clinical. Insigne, who's graced many a European night, to Spicer, the Trinidad and Tobago international. He's overrun that, I think. It's a goal kick.
Well, that would be a good battle tonight. Spicer and Marshall-Ruddy, stride for stride, they went there. We've chatted a lot about the two Toronto Italians as often as we are. One of them playing tonight, Insigne. Highlighted him and the need for Toronto getting him on the ball.
Biel inside, looking for the corner. Sean Johnson beats it away. And Charlotte are starting to rack up some very healthy chances in this game.
It's good from Biel. It's direct, with confidence. It made it look easy to open up that space to get a strike.
Rollico, he's worked it really well with Doumbia, and that is Ajimang, and it's brilliantly off the line, and then fired over the top by Biel. Oh, TFC hanging on by their fingertips at the moment. I think Petretta was the man who got back to deny Ajimang.
Well, they're just bombarding the back line of Toronto with so many numbers getting forward. Doumbia back in the 11, does well to dig this out. It's a tough one for Ajimang to get solid contact on. And this prior to that, Biel, look how easy this is for him. Cuts in, one little touch. Petretta, he's nowhere near him. But thankfully for him, he's got a really good goalkeeper behind him.
Offside flag up against Brynhildsen. Well, we've played 18 minutes. And on another night, Charlotte could have scored 2 or 3.
So I've said when this Charlotte front four are clicking, and we haven't seen it as often as I'm sure Dean Smith's supporters would want to see. It's one of the best front fours attacks in this league because they have different ways to get at you. Adji, man, he'd be feared by every single defender in this league when he's on.
He just screamed there to go as they picked up possession and wanted to transition down the field at his players.
And you have Abada, who's got his pace, directness, Biel, the technician on the ball. Zaha, we haven't seen him at his best, but Zaha can do so many things. You know, to break down the defender off the dribble, get his strike away. But we haven't seen them hit top level yet.
Feels like we're looking at a Charlotte team at the moment that is giving a reaction to their coach. And Dean Smith, we talked to him, and his press conferences are actually top value. They're almost must-watch television in their own form every week. He's great with the media. He answers a range of questions. He's very much the Brit learning life in America at times, learning the phraseology. And that's a foul on Zaha. There'll be a free kick. This is what his side is doing so far in terms of goal-mouth chances.
Well, Petretta does well to get back, and that should be back in the net. PL, Leathery's thrown off at Johnson. You saw him coming into shot, diving across screen. But that set from Doumbia, he didn't make it easy on Adjiman to try and dig that out.
They took the free kick very quickly. They went behind for a goal kick. 20 minutes played. But in amongst the very affable qualities that Dean Smith has, you can also tell there's a coach in there who will let rip on his players if he absolutely has to, and a stern word or two, I think, will have been delivered at times.
What did he say? I'm responsible for picking the team. You're responsible for your performance. Quick and sharp.
He's barely unpacked the suitcase. He's saying the last few days they've been on the road, such a huge pile of away games for them. 9 of 11 from the beginning of May away for this team, including cup matches. Now Privet has just left his arm in over on the far side, and Dominguez was the man at court. Well, he gets under his feet. Let's have a look at Zaha and what he's been doing so far.
There's a great little bit of skill. You don't often see as he starts to drift in and come inside. He gets on the ball, and there's not many players who just a little bit. That was on purpose, him sort of dragging it behind that first to come back in.
Once broken to Spicer, he tried to get Brynhildsen through. He nearly did. There's a player who's got a good touch or two as well. Insigne wins the throw-in for his side. The way Zaha plays, I guess that's why he gets fouled so much, because the ball just at times stays attached to those long legs and goes in directions that most players can't take it.
That type of play, he shows it to you as a defender, you think, go get it, and he takes it away. Thought there was a little bit extra on that bit of skill that we saw before, but still.
So what would you have done if he was running at you in your playing days? How would you have tackled him, literally?
I would have both arms around him.
Like a good Scottish fly half or something.
It would have been. You could call it a piggyback. Take the booking and get defenders around me, supporting me for the rest of the 90 minutes.
Insigne floating it in, looking for Brynhildsen, a header away from Privet.
Well, he's looking for him, and that's a positive. Insigne wasn't much to be able to find it in terms of squeezing a pass into Brynhildsen. Insigne needs to make him the main man.
See the air of confidence around Brynhildsen again. That little layoff there didn't quite come off for him, but It's Johnson away, 36 today. And the wind has caught that and blown it out of play. Speaking of Johnson, this exclusive NetCam replay is brought to you by T-Mobile, and again, he's been in fine form. That's one he would want to beat away, but it's the angle away he pushes it away that, again, was important there. He's made some terrific saves this season.
The angle he took up as the strike was coming in to make it look easy.
The man who would have been his counterpart tonight, Christian Kalina, actually leading MLS in saves at 66. Not necessarily a statistic to be proud of, because it tells you your goalkeeper's been pretty busy. But this man Johnson has been as well on occasion. He's proved more than a match for most. It's been some of the very best strikes that have beaten him. And it took a horrible deflection from Kai Wagner's left foot on Wednesday night via Matty Longstaff to find that way past him. Ultimately, what would be the winning goal?
Just you can hear Dean Smith through the headsets in the technical area. That's the centre back and him coming out.
Poor touch from the returning Cozy Thompson. Dumbia's been out since April. Made a substitute return on Wednesday night. Dean Smith said it was good for him to get some minutes, give him some confidence. He's a manager that tends to start a player like Doumbia. I doubt Doumbia will go the distance tonight. I suspect that we'll see him come out at some point, but he said he would rather start players in those positions and give them a chance and then bring them out, rather than sit and get cold for an hour and then get half an hour. Here he is, looking really good and breaking down the left, and he was trying to play it back for the arriving Zaha. It was well intercepted by Thompson. Given straight away though, it's Zaha for Charlotte. Marshall Rutty, Abada is outside him, support from the anchor in midfield, Westwood. Trying to work something and get Abada away down that right side behind Petretta, but they blocked it off, TFC, very well there.
Well read by Stefanovic. Now is the time they need to be a little more clean on the ball. Robin Fraser talked a lot about entry passes. Wednesday he felt against Philadelphia Union that we're always finding the right entry pass. Who to play it into in between lines. Charlotte have done a really good job though at denying those spaces and getting bodies in the way of the passing lanes.
Come on, take that.
Zane Monlouis, who starts again at centre-half tonight. An impressive performance as the centre-man in a back three on Wednesday night. Robin Fraser was pleased with him. It's Flores winning the header. And the second ball will come back to him as well.
As part of these new signings needing to show well, Tony. There's been such disappointment so far to start this year. You want to feel encouraged by new signings that have been brought in the offseason and under Robin Fraser and GM Jason Hernandez.
Insigne. Spicer. That falls away. And Biel brings it upfield, and now they can release with Zaha and Adjumang. It's one-on-one here. Adjumang takes it wide.
Even that, the ball almost needs to get to Adjumang quicker, so we'd have more opportunity for that 1v1 with Stefanovic. But I bet Stefanovic wouldn't want to deal with that Adjumang, but under hit, Stefanovic has time for defenders to come back and support him. The chance goes away.
Kind of made it upfield in installments, didn't it, rather than quick and direct. Plenty of room over on that that side for Doumbia, and he gets upfield well with Zaha tucking in, and it's back to the left back again.
Look, Charlotte aren't a possession-based team, but they're getting time on the ball right now.
It'll be interesting to see their number possession-wise through these first 28 minutes. And neither of these sides are among the league leaders when it comes to possession. Veronica had the first of those chances tonight for the crown. Here's Abada. Biel for Zaha, sizing up Thompson, squares it for Biel. The instant hit blocked by Monlouis. All the black shirts at the moment. Marshall Ruddy. Abada comes inside. There was a bit of room out. Zaha. They won't want him to cut in. He goes wide instead, and Johnson saves at the near post. Went straight at him, but he had to stay strong, and it goes behind for a corner.
Well, Charlotte, there's so much on top right now, Toronto. They need to go and get a goal while they are the better team. Got numbers in the box, and Zaha, it's more like it from him. It's what we're seeing the last few matches, is him not wasting time, getting at his defender. Being a lot more positive. Good save from Johnson.
Approaching the half hour, the corner short and then worked in, and it's Bronico's header, which goes wide. So a feast of Saturday night soccer. We talked about all the big games coming up as well, and another one Sunday night soccer tomorrow night. Minnesota, the high-flying Loons on the road in Seattle. First trip for Sunday night soccer out to the Pacific Northwest on this side of the border in Seattle. And Albert Rusnak and co will be waiting for them. Big Western Conference clash, that one. Coverage kicking off at 5 o'clock Eastern. It's right here. MLS season pass, of course. Big night tomorrow night as well. We'd be remiss not to mention Cruz Azul and Vancouver. CONCACAF Champions Cup final. That one straight after our Sunday night soccer offering. Vancouver will be hoping to seal a night of Canadian soccer glory. Of course, TFC almost achieved that. 2018, they got to the final, beaten over 2 legs by Chivas on penalties. Jonathan Osorio, who's out there tonight, scored in the first leg and then would ultimately miss a penalty in the shootout in the second leg. But heady days, and an era that starting to feel like a while ago now for Toronto.
Montreal against Club America 2015, that was something else. Second leg, 5-3, they lost in aggregate. So Vancouver have a lot to play for in terms of bragging rights amongst the Canadian clubs.
They haven't left anything to chance, Vancouver, on the trip down to Mexico City, even taking their own dietitian and chef. They really have.
They took note of Columbus, their experience last year, did they?
Yep. Doumbia now for Charlotte, inside for Biel, an instant touch to Adjumang, and they try to thread it through them, but it's broken up and pulled away, but then offside. Brynhildsen.
It was a really good line. Great step from Privet. He must have been given a shout from Milanda not to drop, and Privet, without looking, he knew that he could squeeze up a yard to catch Brynhildsen offside. And what that does now, Toronto loses that momentum to get up the pitch. Charlotte staying on the ball. They've been so much sharper than what we saw against Red Bulls.
Over the top, Adjumang battling and winning another corner. Stefanovic are working over. There's no rest after a busy month for many of the players, with June camp coming up for the US men's national team, the Canadians getting ready for Gold Cup, the likes of David Flores off with Honduras, Tyrese Spicer, Trinidad and Tobago. That's a comfortable one for Johnson.
I'll tell you what, it wasn't at the last second.
No,
Almost
just a little bit
caught a
more
bit of wind that last second. And Johnson had to extend a little bit more.
It's like my drive off the tee usually on the golf course. It's just it just caught a bit of wind at the end as it duck hooked.
It's the excuse.
I have to find something. Well, that's given away. Biel now. Oh, and he, in turn, hands it straight back to Flores. And Dominguez can spread this out to the right-hand side. It's Cozy Thompson. Not a lot of numbers forward in white, but they'll try and find Bryn Hilton. Important block again from Privet. And Monlouis gets in front of Adjumang. That one throwing a golf shot. That's a sandwich dropping down. Here's Flores.
So many Charlotte kids just quickly getting into their defensive structure behind the ball. Making sure their lines from the defensive line into the midfield, it's tight, that area, about 5 yards in between them. And then further forward, that line between midfield and the attackers is about 5 yards. So very little in the way of space to play into for Toronto. They haven't been good enough on the ball.
Straight over the top and through to Sean Johnson. This is the sixth meeting between them. Of course, Charlotte's still a relatively new MLS team. 3 wins for Toronto, including the double in 2022. And Charlotte have not actually won here. They did get a draw in 2023. Last meeting, though, actually in Charlotte last season, produced 5 goals and a lot of drama. Red cards and a lot. Abada, Biel, here's Wilfred Zaha. Thompson stands tall, he's found an angle, and that one just caught something off Sean Johnson. It's gone behind for a corner, and Zaha is denied by the birthday boy.
He looks most likely for Charlotte to find the breakthrough. 1v1 again against Thompson. Head down, little shift, and he's gone. That one touch, he's able to create that yard of space to get a strike. What a save this is from Johnson. Solid again at near state. That ball is moving. Just gets enough. Little kick save. Sees it go wide.
Strong, isn't it, from Johnson when it's cleared away. With authority behind it. Malanda, though, at the back, and already the whistle had gone. As there'd been a foul. It was Adjumang who was penalised. Joe Dickerson's whistle went very quickly there.
It's a tough one. It looked as though it was a body block. A few picks going on in there. That's what the referee has seen. Sydney has been drifted into this little pocket here as Dominguez has been on the other side operating in that similar pocket. But not enough from them. They need to be on the ball on the half turn and getting Bryn Hilton involved more.
Thompson, Bryn Hilton. The touch didn't quite arrive at the feet of Flores, so Biel bringing it away. It's good trapping back. Is it by Flores? No, it's a foul and a yellow card for the Honduran.
Too much holding. He won the ball in the end. Dickerson, he was just waiting to see that if Pep Biel could get away. But there's the hold. Goes around this body, Biel to get the ball. The fact that he's stopped a promising attack. Goes in the book.
Yeah, no arguments really with that. First booking goes to Debbie Flores. World Cup qualifiers coming up for him with Honduras before the Gold Cup. They've got games against the Cayman Islands and Antigua and Barbuda. Honduras have won their first 2 games World Cup qualification, of course, with the expanded field in the US, Canada and Mexico next year. And the host nations already qualified. There's high hopes that Honduras could return to the World Cup finals. First half where the chances have almost all come Charlotte's way, but yet a scoreline of 0-0. Biel for Abada. Back to the Spaniard who crosses quickly, and it falls to Abada. Really important block his feet. Oh, it's a lovely touch for Bronico. The cross in, and it's Stefanovic. As it comes back in for Flores to clear, and then Westwood tries to hit one. Well, they've still got it, and this is still a siege, and this is Westwood again. Tries the cute cross, deflected for a corner.
What a block this is from the captain. He needed to get his body in the way. As Toronto's scrambling, poor from Flores, it's wild. And Abada is just trying to control his strike, get it on target, but Osorio's there. Everything from Toronto, though, outside of that block from Osorio, they're just a yard off. They're a yard off everything that Charlotte's doing. They're closing down, they're pressing.
Here's the corner, and it's Montlouis with the header away this time. Flicked on by Privet. Abada has to go on his left. Starting to feel at times a little bit like domination, but it's domination in a 0-0 game.
That's just it. Without the promise, though, Tony. Yeah. No real threat or danger, though. Just can't see how Toronto are going to get out.
Yeah.
But it's more or less a defending session for Toronto. 45 minutes. And it may be that they've gone through.
Well, Toronto went through a phase like this on Wednesday night against Philadelphia. I would wager it wasn't as long a phase of the game as this, though. Probably 25 minutes or so. This is Adjumang. And the early cross through a dangerous area, but Abada not getting there. And Thompson away. But they weathered that storm against Philadelphia and ultimately got stronger as it went towards half-time. They'll have to try and take a leaf out of that playbook tonight, it seems, with 5 minutes before the interval. But it's a little bit more relentless at the moment from Charlotte.
Well, when they break Toronto, they're trying to go so early into Brynildsen. The trouble is Brynildsen, he doesn't have any support around him, and he's dealing with two towers that are Privet and Mulanda, who are good on the turn. They've got plenty of pace. So it's difficult to see how Brynildsen is going to get away from the two center-backs of Charlotte. And Signé, as I mentioned a few minutes before, and Dominguez, they're tasked with when the ball's going in to Brynildsen to get underneath him to support him.
Marshall Ruddy who sent it out, and Spicer poised with the throw. And Hilson offers the short option. Spicer waves him away, he's going to go long.
Just so many bodies of Charlotte. Don't see how a white kit is going to get on the end of a long throw-in.
Westwood clipped. Free kick. The player comparison is presented by Celsius. Pure passion and maximum energy with zero sugar. Biel and Flores doing different roles in midfield, and the touches for the two of on show there.
Different types of touches as Pep Biel in more advanced positions, more the creative type touches, and Flores is touches trying to get Toronto up the pitch.
Enforcer with an air of magic around him as well, and that's a good pass from him for Thompson. Numbers in the middle now for TFC. Oh, the pass. You can see what he was thinking, trying to find Osorio, but an easy pick-off, and here comes Charlotte, and look at this. It's 5-on-4 for a moment as Bronico releases Adjumang. The drive from big Patrick Adjumang, and the block from Stefanovic.
Too predictable. As soon as Adjumang cut inside, it was easy to read. Stefanovic has had a couple really good blocks in this first half.
Biel almost a touch through to Adjumang, and not quite there.
You just see Thompson put up his hand to apologize after the play went dead. Get into that advanced position. David Bingham, he's watched the entire first half. Flash it across goal. It's his first start since the end of 2023. Just put something towards him and test him out.
David Bingham, who is in this Charlotte lineup tonight. Christian Kalina dropped to the bench after a difficult month of performances on the field. A few goals where the finger could be pointed at a stopper who has been so good overall for Charlotte. And I think little doubt he'll get that place back at some point. Look at that shot count at the moment. It's 12-0. Bingham, the proverbial nothing to do. Johnson's been busy on his birthday at the other end, and he might be about to be again, because here comes Charlotte. Ajimang back post. Abada picks it up. This is all about the quality of delivery now. Abada for Zaha. Back it goes again. Abada finds an angle, and then he goes deeper with the crosses. Ajimang went near post. Kind of wondering what Dean Smith's going to be saying to his players at halftime. He's going to be kind of half pleased, half furious, isn't he? Because they could be out of sight in this game with a bit more quality. Brynhildsen at the other end. He's going to do all this on his own, and he's done well because he's won his side a corner.
Got something out of it.
These are the team benches built by the Home Depot. The likes of Corbanu dropped down to the bench tonight. Richie Larea back for the first time since week 2 of the season from a hamstring injury. Just in time to go off for Canadian international duty, of course. And Kalina joining the substitutes for Charlotte. Scardina, after a run of starts in the team, also starts on the bench tonight. Now then, after everything of this first 45 minutes or so, TFC with a chance from the set piece. Corners that hurt them on Wednesday night. This should be the last action of the half. Osorio's corner. Flores' header. Brynhildsen hit it! Saved by Bingham. The flag was actually up on the far side, offside. And with that, 45 minutes of action comes to an end. Brynhildsen hit that well. It wouldn't have counted. Not in the short term anyway. But again, another sign of, well, the threat. You can be under the cosh and then get a chance.
Well, he is offside, but look how he uses his body and he lets the ball drop. Just gives that little nudge to Doumbia. It's a confident strike, but it wouldn't have mattered in the end.
Just a reminder for David Bingham that he's in the game on his return to the starting lineup. The veteran stopper who starts tonight for Charlotte. So there we go. It's been all crown in the first half, but the scoreline offers hope for TFC. Toronto 0, Charlotte 0. Halftime is next.
I'm the voice inside your head. And while you're typically athletic, right now, you're pathetic. Rick. And once you start listening to me, it's gonna be hard to stop. Shank. And if you don't have the right auto coverage, the cost of this could hit you out of nowhere.
What's up, TFC fans? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. TFC against Charlotte at home, BMO Field. Let's go. Come on, TFC. Let's bring it back to the fortress that this place used to be. We are sick and tired of watching you guys get beat up and down the field every single week, and then the coach laughing about it afterwards and saying it was a good performance by the team. No, we don't want any of that stuff. Come on, TFC. Let's go. Let's bring this back to what we used to be, like winning trophies and getting awards, like these silver plaques, silver play buttons presented to Toronto Sports Insider. TFC till I die. Let's go, TFC. It's a big game today. We got to start putting results together every single week, or else it's going to be too late. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like button. Please share this link out. Let's bring more football fans, soccer fans, whatever you call it, here to our awesome Toronto sports community. Also, on a side note, please check out the link that is in the description, and we'll probably send you there afterwards as well. But we're live right earlier today for my son's game over on our soccer channel, Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central. So make sure you check that out. And of course, I have no idea where the thumbnail is. There it is. Boom. Evolution today going to move up to D2. D2 promotion on the line this afternoon. I will be live on SOP Soccer providing play-by-play, and Tom will be mic'd up in goal or out in the field, depending on where he's playing. So make sure you hang out and listen to this and watch this with us. Come hang out with us. We'll see you in the chat. Come on, TFC. Let's go. Let's bring it back to the old days. Let's get some wins. Let's start stringing some results together. We've got to see better out of this team. This is unacceptable. We'll see you back in the chat.
Off the line, Doumbia just bounces it up to Ajiman, who does well to get some contact on it. But look at this from Petretta. Gets back to the line, and then the celebration afterwards as that ball goes over. And this was the story of the first half. Toronto defending around their 18, and Charlotte taking turns having licks. And opportunities at goal. Great save again from Sean Johnson as Zaha. It's twice in that second half where he's gotten on the wing and saw the strikes on goal, but that man has denied everyone.
Sean Johnson, 36 today, certainly busy. Look at the XG for TFC at half-time, 0.0. I think Charlotte have had more than 50% possession. Sometimes those figures can be skewed by moments in the game. 4 corners to the Crown, and they've had 12 shots to TFC's 0 in that first half. Charlotte FC is proud to highlight the continued expansion of the Greater Goals Initiative. The program provides after-school soccer and literacy programming for Title I elementary school students. Coaches and mentors engage participants with hour-long sessions twice a week, instilling soccer proficiency and vital social values like teamwork, respect, inclusion, and hard work. In a partnership with founding partner Ali, Greater Goals has grown to encompass 40-plus schools across both Charlotte and Winston-Salem. The club now reaches more than 1,350 young players, forging a path towards empowerment, skill building, and social development. More MLS work in the community that we're proud to bring you tonight. Active in the community and very active on the field tonight. It's been all Charlotte, but no way past Sean Johnson so far. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Combat. Beautiful wall pass. Brilliant. Defense the defender.
Linda asistencia.
Lowe's knows what a great assist can lead to.
Take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. Be my girl. Are you gonna be my girl?
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you enjoying the moment or owning the moment. They can bring investment opportunities or opportunities to invest in yourself. Ideas that can have you doing good or feeling great. From following your passion to making your passion work for you. What ideas will you bring to life? Know more with RBC Wealth Management.
Yeah, I know I'm really attracted.
Refresh your energy. with zero sugar. Essential vitamins and proven ingredients. Celsius. Live fit.
Welcome back to the Audi halftime report. Toronto FC tonight honouring Indigenous Heritage Night. And great to see work out there in the communities across Ontario from TFC. Halftime scores then elsewhere around MLS. A couple of full times from earlier. Nashville and New York drew 2-2. A win for St. Louis the week that Olaf Melberg parted company with them. Miami a 3-up on Columbus. Atlanta 2 down. Cincinnati trailing to DC United. And Chicago 3-1 up in Orlando. Kind of thing that can happen in these busy schedules.
Quite remarkable, some of the scorelines. Columbus, how they're struggling right now. Messi, 2 goals for Miami.
Games on the West Coast coming late tonight. The top performance is presented by Audi. Pep Biel has been at his best during this MLS season, and we've seen some threats from him tonight.
But he's been instrumental, just connecting that front four and even taking on a couple of chances himself, but he should be tucking that in the back of the net and having a goal to his name.
This is Major League Performance. This is Audi, official automotive partner of Major League Soccer. So all the shots came at the TFC goal in that first half, 12 of them in all from Charlotte, 4 of them on target. And you can see there where they have peppered Toronto largely from inside the box.
Every one of the front four for Charlotte could have scored in that first half. That's how many opportunities there were.
And yet, after all that pressure, those chances, it's a head-scratcher at times because Charlotte can't find a way through. 0-0, second half, next.
It's all happening too fast.
What, you nervous about the wedding?
No, it's the house, dude. We got approved.
Bro, don't stress. This house, it's the one.
Speaking of the one, caterer. We need a caterer.
At RBC Wealth Management, we know you have ideas for your future. Ideas that can have you taking more time off or putting more time in. They could mean more peace and quiet or more fun and games. Ideas you can drive or that drive you. From settling in to living it up, what ideas will you bring to life? No more with RBC Wealth Management.
Hey, playing for an ultra?
We playing for ultras? Brace you for an ultra?
Put an ultra on it. Don't forget, there's ultras on the line. I didn't.
Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
At Continental Tire, passion is at the center of everything we do because it drives our relentless pursuit of excellence.
He drives the ball through. In the clear now. Hey!
To bring home the win.
Deja las celebraciones a los profesionales.
And we'll stick to tires. Continental, the smart choice in tires.
I'm an overpowered leaf blower, and I'm not exactly street legal.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
A man who works hard sweats hard. Old Spice rider fights sweat, so coach thought I was slacking. So I trained with my Old Spice, and I became the best player ever. Sometimes, a man must overcome sweat.
Welcome back to Toronto, Ontario. This broadcast of MLS on Apple TV is presented by T-Mobile. The wonderful skyline of Toronto. Busy day downtown as well today. The Blue Jays were in action. And they beat the A's 8-7. It's 0-0 here. The supporter cam is brought to you by Lowe's. Visit Lowe's for the ultimate assist on your next project. And these TFC fans have been loud tonight. The attendance noticeably larger and the noise noticeably louder than it was for the midweek game here in the rain against the Philadelphia Union. They are sticking with them. They're frustrated, they're discontented, there's no doubt about that. They're making their feelings known. But they're trying to will that team on to a big 3 points on the field. Players re-emerging for the second half. And with news of a potential couple of changes from Robin Fraser. Ayala Abada had one of the very good chances for Charlotte in that first half, in scoring form. Looks like Sigurd Rosted is going to come on in the second half. And Derek Etienne Jr., who started on Wednesday night, is also going to come in. Zane Monlouis is coming out. Tyrese Spicer, the other player, to come out. So we'll see those two changes made now. And confirmation from the board down there. Derek Etienne Jr. coming on and immediately heading over to the left. Rosted comes in as a straight replacement for Zane Monlouis. No changes from Charlotte, who get us underway in the second half. They were in the black, playing from right to left. Adjabang immediately going chasing and ultimately commits a foul. And it'll be a free kick to start the second half. So a couple of alterations as we look at Derek Etienne Jr., who started here on Wednesday night as a wing-back. He comes in. It looks like they're very much like for like so far. Although just watching these early moments, you wonder whether maybe Robin Fraser is thinking about actually going with a 3. Oh, that's a terrible giveaway. Ross, I'll bring you in a moment. Let's watch Sahar play it for Abada. Biel is in front of him. It's played back for Marshall Ruddy. Charlotte, who dominated statistically the first half of this game. Kept Sean Johnson much the busier of the goalkeepers. Doumbia now on his return to the starting lineup. Bronico, one of those who had a chance in the first half. Clean sheet thus far for Charlotte as well, and in a month where they've conceded 19 goals, that's handy for them. Biel stretching them. Laid up for Doumbia. Second half starting very much as the first half finished. Zahar. Out left to Doumbia again. Here goes Pep Biel. Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy, the Ontarian. Barely a touch for Toronto, and we've played nearly 2 minutes of the second half.
It's picking up exactly where it left off this match. Half-time. Despite what, I agree with you, Tony, a change in shape from Toronto, which you would imagine for Robin Fraser is to have 3 centre-backs central with all the central players for Charlotte to try and get more bodies in there, but then you have your wing-backs to be able to stretch the pitch a little bit more defensively and get out wide to the attacking players for Charlotte coming down.
Marshall Ruddy, the deep cross, very deep, but it'll come all the way across to from one full-back to the other. Doumbia. Stretching boot comes in from Petretta.
There's more support central, more support in the wide areas to deal with, particularly on this left-hand side. Doumbia pushing on as a left fullback.
Jamang held off by Rosted, who puts it out for the throw-in.
I just wonder with Monlouis, is he feeling something, or is it more to do with the experience of Rosted coming in? That Toronto just defended for an entire 45 minutes. They almost need that experience in the back line that is going to push that back line up a little bit more. The experienced voice to set out commands to other players in front of him.
Insigne, and there is an example of Derek Etienne Jr. now trying to bound forward from that left wing-back position against Marshall Ruddy. And he delivers the cross, which is a comfortable catch at the end for David Bingham, who is starting tonight, remember, for Charlotte, his first MLS start, having played both of their US Open Cup games this season. Christian Kalina is on the bench.
Etienne Jr., he's not going to have the out-and-out pace like Spicer does. He still will offer that quality to whip the ball in from wide areas, but you'll get a little bit more, perhaps, of a number of dropping inside, coming inside to combine. Something that Spicer doesn't really do.
A little bit of space for Wilfred Zaha. He utilises it, and then his shot is weak. Down to Johnson's right.
Zaha a few times in the first half had these 1v1 moments, and Thompson just a bit fortunate. Just keeps backpedaling, allowing Zaha that space to drive into. It's just the sign of a defender who's a little unnerved. Doesn't want to confront Zaha outside the box and leave that space behind them.
4 goals for the season now for Wilfred Zaha on loan. A bit of instruction from Dean Smith picked up. There's Maxime Dominguez. Haven't really mentioned his name too much. Came into midfield tonight. Another loan signing. This is the win probability. Charlotte favoured by over 40% at kickoff. It's dropped a little bit at the start of the second half. TFC has dropped as well, so the odds on a draw have got considerably stronger. It was all late goals here on Wednesday night. 3 of them in the last quarter of an hour plus stoppages. Another game in which TFC managed to shift the momentum, albeit briefly. They were close to their best win of the season. Dominguez. Trevor out on the left.
You said it, Tony, for all the good play of Charlotte in the first half, it's still 0-0. So for Toronto, if they have one good moment, all of a sudden the momentum can start to change. They can think, hold on a second, I'm still in this. Do have a match winner in Bert Hilson that we saw a solid strike at the end of half-time. He would have been offside, was offside, wouldn't have counted. Still, Toronto will know. Carve out one opportunity, it could be there for them.
Confirmation of those changes in the lineup for TFC on the screen there, but we do think they've shifted to a 3 at the back in the second half. Insigne now driving forward, went in front of one, behind the other. And again, it just takes the pace out of the move. And it's a reset moment for Stefanovic. Dean Smith's side. Tonight he was able to bring Brad Bronico back. He brought Abada back into the starting lineup. Vargas had scored on Wednesday in New York. Flores now, that's a good attacking run from midfield up against Privet. Good ball in as well. Just too far in front of Brynhildsen. Just too hot as the cross came in. Rescued by Derek Etienne Jr. Here come TFC again. The cross cleared away by Malanda.
Best bit of play from Toronto tonight. Starts with Dominguez just coming a little deep, and then a lovely lifted ball over the top floors. And he just needed to keep driving, which is what he did. Hesitated for a second, he thought, just keep going, put the ball on the grass, and fizz it across goal.
The kind of service Robin Fraser is saying, if we get Brynhildsen more opportunities like that, he's going to be on the end of those kind of crosses. He's going to be scoring more goals. He's going to be a very good player in this league. Said before Wednesday, he's the best kept secret. He's being exposed now as a real weapon. Here's Insigne, and it's Osorio just got the crucial line wrong at the key moment.
Never looked right. Just off balance, but still from Toronto. So much more positive to start the second half. Insigne driving into the boxes. The defense collapse on him. Pops it out to Osorio. See himself as he looks to the sky. Disappointed.
A week ago, he scored a wonderful 50th goal in TFC colours when the late comeback against Nashville in vain. That was a 2-1 defeat. Wednesday night was a 2-1 defeat. TFC are the team of the slender defeat this year. 6 times they've lost by a 1-goal margin. They'll have a break and return on June 13th when they make the trip to LAFC. 10:30 Eastern, so late night soccer action for you on the East Coast. Against Steve Cherundolo's men, a cross-conference game. LAFC tonight, kicking off at that time against Club America in that huge Club World Cup playoff game. The winner joins the 31 other clubs at the Club World Cup. Bryn Hilton, oh, this is echoes of the other night, and the goalkeeper didn't come, but in the end, Bingham did enough, and Bryn Hilton is denied. Oh, I thought we were watching deja vu.
It was there for him, and Bingham, he makes the mistake not to come because that ball just kept carrying, and he kept thinking, where's Bingham? Milanda must have been thinking, where's the goalkeeper? But he shows up at the right time in the end. As Bryn Hilton's going on goal, he gets the strike away, but Bingham's there.
When you watch that goal back against Philadelphia, you're kind of left wondering about the same thing as Bryn Hilton bore down on goal. They stayed rooted. There again. And Bingham now has to get underneath this cross, and he does.
You have to remember, David Bingham featured last year in Leagues Cup for Charlotte and was really good. He hasn't played a regular season game since the end of 2023, and his manager at the time is his assistant manager tonight for Charlotte, Miles Joseph.
Miles Joseph had that spell. Yes, the caretaker at Providence Park.
And Bingham was really good that year for Portland Timbers.
10 minutes gone, second half, and that was floated forward by Insigne.
So much so that Ali Azivicic, who was the #1 for Portland coming into that season, found his way on the bench and eventually found his way across country with Caleb Porter in New England. A good ball from Bingham.
He finds Stumir on the left side, and that's brought in field for Bronico. Wilfred Zaha now in a more central position, with Biel going wide. Oh, he picks out Abada. That's a peach of a pass. It's Leon Abada, and he squares it back. There's Biel to arrive and to score for Charlotte. Red hot this season. If he's not making goals, he's scoring them. And Charlotte are in front early in the second half. Toronto 0, Charlotte 1. Biel again.
I said coming into tonight that Pep Biel needs a performance that'll put him back in the conversation of MVP. But it all starts from a man whose stock is rising in Zaha. The way he just cuts in here, and as soon as he dips inside, watch this touch from Abada. There, eliminates his defender with that one touch, and he just thought, is he going to go to ground? Is it going to be a penalty? Right before he does head to ground, he gets it across the face of goal, and Pep Biel says, there we go. Had one in the first half with a goal at his mercy, and he blazed it over, not this time. Only 1 goal, 1 assist in his last 6 matches. Well, he's got another one for him. Another big moment for Charlotte, the breakthrough they needed.
Well, the story of that general dominance of play in the first half for Charlotte was always that final pass, that final ball, that final shot just didn't quite all come together. There, we saw 3 outstanding touches. The pass from Zaha is outstanding. Biel's touch, as you quite rightly pointed out, Ross, to just cut the defender out of it. And then the awareness where in the first half maybe the cross would be stuffed away, cleared away, whatever, the awareness to pull it back and BL arriving perfectly. And when they go in front, it usually augurs well for Charlotte this season.
As I always say, when that front four for Tony is clicking, it's one of the best front fours in the league. We just haven't seen it often enough in Charlotte at the start of the year when they were getting all their wins and doing well. Dean Smith rightly said, still haven't seen the best of us.
And tonight, of course, he made the call, the big shout to make a change in goal. Christian Kalina watching on tonight as a substitute. David Bingham making his first MLS start for Charlotte. And so far, it's a clean sheet. Kalina's had a busy month off the field. New arrival in the family, moving house as well. On the field, it's been tough for him. And Toronto picked up just 1 point from 7 games when they've conceded the first goal. So they need to mount a comeback and try and change the form book this season. Osorio. Bit of space for him, and then Bronico, did he catch it? No, referee says play on, in which case perhaps Osorio should be going in the book, but if there wasn't a foul.
Just don't know if Osorio was he looking for it. He knew himself. He's got on the ground too easy as he just lost his balance.
You're good there, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good.
He has flopped.
Another free kick given away. And we approach the hour mark. And Nilsson was the man on target here on Wednesday. Charlotte's last trip to Canada yielded their only 3-point return on the road this season when they won at Montreal. And it was that man, Pep Biel, who scored the winner that day. That was an ugly win, really, Dean Smith called it. This one has been thus far a lead that's come from a game of plenty of chances for them. We hit bang on 60 minutes. And MLS 360, remember, is the place to be for all the goals, the highlights, the news on busy MLS nights. It's live on MLS Season Pass from Apple TV. Kevin Egan and the team in the studio, bringing you the fastest goal action on television on a Saturday night. Of course, don't forget, after we're finished tonight, you can go across to MLS 360, or indeed take your pick of the collection of games that start over on the West Coast. So what does Robin Fraser do here? He has continued to point to the positives, the progress, but he also said we can't rest on moral victories before the season gets away from us. We're at the halfway point of the season tonight. If TFC would have gone and lose this, it would be a 7th home defeat, just 1 win here. That's brilliant from Zaha. He's opening up now. Important block from Stefanovic from the cross.
He's really turning it on now, Zaha. He's starting to show his pedigree. It's interesting with Toronto that they're morphing in between that shape of a back three. Is it a back four? What matters is Etienne Jr., how far forward can he get and be able to impact the game? And then Thompson on this side.
The positive for TFC after what we've seen is that there's only 1 goal in this at the moment. This is Derek Etienne Jr. All the way across for Dominguez. He's going to have a go. He's well wide.
Well, they conceded Toronto after their best spell of the match. Think of Brynildson and Flores, opportunities around goal, and this has to go down as a half chance. Dominguez, is he going for goal? Is he just trying to find Brynildson with the strike / cross across the face?
On loan from Vasco da Gama, Maxime Dominguez yet to find the net in MLS play. Coming back that point I was saying that Robin Fraser made this season getting away. I mean, he is working with these players. He's proud of all the effort and commitment they're putting in, but ultimately the results just not coming for them, and the fans here are at a low ebb, and the frustration mounts. And it's halfway point of the season at this point tonight. If they lose this one, that's 10 defeats in 17 games. I mean, it's a rebuild, but it's also one that's going on against a backdrop of extreme disappointment from a fan base that's seen such good times.
I think he has to be commended for the way that he's attached himself to this squad. Tony, we've been a part where other managers have come in and the team has been unsuccessful, and that new manager said, look, these players aren't mine. I've got nothing to do with these players. Wait and judge me until I get the right players in. Robin Fraser hasn't done that. And to whether to a fault, but I think that's in part why he was brought in, because he's a good club man, good character, that he has taken responsibility for what was before and signings that were from before.
Ajamang now. Charlotte looking for a second. And indeed the visitors will make a change in a moment as well. Tim Ream is going to come on. Doumbia will come out. That would, I think, always been the plan. Doumbia making his first start since his return from injury. Stretching Flores in front of Ajamang. Osorio. Thompson. And he shows great strength, and ultimately he's going to win a corner as the shot is deflected behind.
And he has to do it himself. Just about does. That little touch, trying to carry it over the body of Privet, and then he has to work his space, and Privet, he stays right with him, touch tight. Does look so much sharper than when he first came in. He had little niggling injuries. They were training on turf, Toronto, for a large part at the start of the season because of the weather.
Now then, substitution before a corner. Wednesday night, that didn't work out so well for Toronto here, but looks like Tim Ream is being prepped to come on as Charlotte prepare to defend a corner. He's on, Doumbia off. And Toronto will make the change at this point as well, as Maxime Dominguez comes off. And on comes Theo Corbeanu. Scored a brace a couple of weeks ago, and that one highlight of the month, really, aside from the home win here against DC, that thumping win up in Montreal. Corbeanu in for the corner, to be taken by Osorio, with TFC trailing. There's Patrick Ajamang clearing at the near post. Eric Etienne Jr. The high ball in, and Bingham with a big shout.
Not the best of balls there. Easy foot. Bingham to collect us just off the ball. Etienne Jr. and Zaha getting after it a bit.
Matchday live scores are presented by AT&T. As here comes Charlotte, looking for more with BL. His shot is deflected. It will just dribble across the line for a corner. Still Chicago 3-1 up in Orlando. Dallas, Philadelphia is underway now. All those games are live right now. MLS Season Pass, together with MLS 360, if you just want to have the live look-ins. Final quarter of the game then. here at BMO Fields. It's that man's goal that's the difference at the moment. Pep Biel, a fifth of the season, a fifth of the season for Biel. He has the 7 assists, second highest in the league. Here it is, it's away from Flores, Abada's touch, laid back for Zaha, that was neat feet, congested area, cleared away. Bingham to Ream, the substitute, touch takes it out. Should be remembered as well, as we talk about Charlotte, I mean, they're in a wretched run here. 6 defeats in 7. It matches a run in 2022 of 6 in 7, which included a 2-0 defeat actually against Toronto. The worst losing streak they'd had under Dean Smith had been losing 3 straight last August and September, so this has been uncharted territory for them in recent times.
What did he say though? If we go and beat Toronto, will people say it's 2 wins in 3?
Yeah.
The narrative can differ.
Yes, it's amazing. Statistics can be twisted whichever way you want to suit them. So in the interest of fairness, when we're talking about 6 defeats in 7, that followed 2 defeats in 9. So they'd been red hot to start the season, and indeed they actually had gone top of the Eastern Conference on the night they beat San Diego. They came in tonight 9th.
It's interesting. Just a moment like that, Tony, I think we would have seen earlier in the season, prior to 2 games ago, Zaha arguing with the referee, complaining. We just don't see that.
Corbin with the substitute, and Ream deflects behind for a corner.
He's focusing more on his game rather than everything else external happening. Toronto, they need something though. Good ball in here. Give Rosted something to go and attack.
Osorio with the corner for Toronto, and again near post. It doesn't beat the first man. It was Zaha that time, but that's a nice touch. And Osorio can deliver again. That's much better. From its header. Westwood away.
Just a bit too high. Rosted was middle of the goal. This is where Charlotte can catch a team though, when they're at their best in transition, when they win it, banging over the top. But Robin Fraser said to us, we have to be aware when we're in the attack, we have to be aware of what happens when it breaks down.
Zaha. And here he goes. Corbeanu takes no chances. It's a corner.
Good defending from Corbeanu. Stuck in well. Got his distance right.
The heat map is presented by IHG. 19 brands, 6,000 destinations. Download the app today. It's Alfred Zaha tonight.
Just operating down that left-hand side. It's part of the attack for Charlotte. If he can really get going, just becomes another level of threat with this team. His pedigree, his brilliance and class, it's starting to come out more and more.
It's like Eric Williamson being readied by Charlotte. Sean Johnson defending this corner. He doesn't get there. A lot of bodies in the way. Breaks for Miranda. There's Marshall Ruddy. Many of his family in the crowd tonight. Phil Marshall Ruddy.
One of 14.
So 1 or 2 family members here watching.
Section.
Now the roll from Ajimak, and he's away, and he squares it. And that was an absolutely critical challenge from Osorio, but it's not over yet because Abada sets up Bronico, who goes wide for Biel. Back for Zaha. There's no space to work with at all. Oh, Osorio's made a couple of crucial interventions tonight to deny certain goals, you would feel. Lovely touch, set up, and now the brilliant save from Abada's fine work from Johnson. Oh, Abada deserved a goal, you sense, for the way he set that up for himself. Beautiful football, but at the other end now, Bryn Hilton tried to bring it away. Can't get past the crown.
A couple of individual moments of brilliance without that final moment going their way for Charlotte.
Biel carrying it. Adjumang, who set all that up with that great strength. Biel's cross, and Abada doesn't get enough on it. And Johnson can make the save. What a 60 seconds, the Abada.
It was too late to react, Abada. If he had gambled on that back stick, it would have been a tap-in.
Well, for all the confidence, for everything that Charlotte are playing with, they've also only got a one-goal lead. And look out, Bingham has to make the save. That was Insigne, who's largely been a passenger, drawing the save. All the chances have been at the other end, though.
Oh, so good from Adjumang, just to roll Stefanovic, but he takes an extra touch. And at that time, Toronto players can get back in. Osorio with the challenge, and then this from Abada. How about that touch? Little touch and go, and Zaha is there to combine. And then final chance in that entire phase at the back stick. Biel putting in a cross, and Biel is reaching. Abada rather, he's reaching for it. Just didn't gamble.
The goal scorer coming out, Pep Biel. A very influential night from the Spaniard. Eric Williamson coming on. Toronto set to respond with a substitute of their own. And it'll be the return of Richie Larea.
Much needed.
That will provide a boost. Of course, he'll go off to the Gold Cup with Canada.
He's been out for a long time.
He went down with injury in Orlando right back in end of February. We were there for that one. Zaha. Before that moment from Insigne, I was actually going to say I feel like the game has passed him by a bit the last 10-15 minutes.
Just him not taking enough moments on. You think that the $16 million man, you wouldn't know it. That moment was a bit more like it, driving into the box, trying to make something happen in the final third.
Thompson, Corbeanu. And a room to run in, and he's going at Ream. Delivers the cross, back post, that was Derek Etienne Jr. And the clearance away.
It's like it from Corbeanu.
Oh, look at this. It's Abada, that's offside, Adjumang, I think. The flag's going to stay down. We'll see this play out. It's Adjumang for Charlotte. It's a great save, Sean Johnson. And then we get the flag.
That was a great step from Stefanovic. He had to get it right, because he was going to be struggling to win the race with Adjumang in behind him. So watch bottom of your screen. Stefanovic steps. Gets it just right. The assistant referee in a good position. Credit to Johnson, another save. Wouldn't have mattered.
And loud applause for Richie Larea, the Canadian international. A Toronto stalwart down the years through his multiple spells here. Big boost to have him back. And that was kind of echoes that we were talking about Orlando. There was echoes of Adjumang in Orlando last season, actually, breaking the offside line on that occasion. I thought he was onside. This one tonight, he was off. Good step from the defender.
We had a good lineup here, didn't we? Yeah. You could be given the flag, Tony.
Yeah, I was waving it, I'm telling you.
That was some goal from Adjumang, was it?
Yeah. Yes, he finished well.
With Pochettino in the stands that night.
He did, and that maybe helped him. Scored a couple of times, of course, for the US in January. This exclusive NetCam replay is brought to you by T-Mobile, and well, that goal cam getting a really good view of a goal being peppered by Charlotte, both in the first and second halves. But I tell you what, Ross, 13 minutes to go here. We've seen Charlotte come close to locking the door. but it's ajar at the moment. This is a one-goal game, and this has been a crazy month. There's a lot of tired legs out there. There's a lot of mistakes that are inevitably going to be made. If you're a Charlotte fan now, you're starting to move towards the edge of your seat that your team's going to put this away and see this out.
They need for Charlotte, Malanda and Privet to stay switched on through every single moment, because Brynhildsen won't let them rest. To that, Tony, for all the terrific play we've seen from Charlotte tonight, Toronto are still one moment away from getting a point.
Brynhildsen, he's looking for Corbeanu. It's intercepted by Tim Ream, one of those internationals we've been talking about. 68 caps for the US, the most cap player in the squad on the roster at the moment, and has been captaining the side as well as 6 most recent games that he started. There's Pep Biel, but he can smile at the moment because his goal's the difference. Forward it goes for Ajumang, holds it up. Williamson, Wilfried Zaha, poor touch. And Larrea's first touches, he finds his old sparring partner, Azurio, and it'll be a free kick. Eric Williamson drew praise from Dean Smith for his performance on Wednesday night. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities so far in this Charlotte team since his arrival from Portland.
I think he restored some confidence back in Dean Smith. He started the first game of the season against Seattle. And then Eric Williamson, there was a couple of periods when he was with Portland Timbers. You're chatting about him as being the best central midfielder in the league. And around those times, those 2 times, he went and tore his ACL. And it was heart-wrenching to see a player at the top of his game have to work his way back up. Since coming to Charlotte, that first game, he's had to restore a bit of confidence in Dean Smith and find his form.
Here's Richie Larrea. Now Corbeanu. 4 primed in the middle. Privet's header away. Brynhildsen has Petretta outside him. He's got Insigne, match winner in this game last year. Tries to work something. Oh, they nearly found Brynhildsen. That was Azurio's pass. Flores now has a foul off the ball and a yellow card as well. It looks like it went to Azurio.
Quick little combination of players. He's trying to give the eyes and slip in Brynhildsen, but Marshall Ruddy, he was switched on. He saw it out, and say fair enough for the booking.
We've seen that in training a few times down the years, hasn't he, Marshall Ruddy? The no-look pass from Azurio. Larrea sets Corbeanu away. He's got good pace, but there's Privet. We're inside the last 10 minutes, and for all Charlotte's dominance tonight, that man's team is still in this game.
He's, I think, upset at the body contact on Corbeanu off the ball, that Ream. Just give him a little push that Corbeanu couldn't get up to speed. Corbeanu deceptive with his pace. We really saw it on Insigne's goal against DC United, where Corbeanu put on the afterburners against the right back Herrera, and Herrera is one of the fastest players in the league. Corbeanu, he left him for dust.
Oh, now there's a bit of afters on the field. That's Zaha and Larrea. And Westwood in there as well now to try and play temporary peacemaker.
There's a little bit of kicking out afterwards.
There was a kick out from Wilfried Zaha as he got to his feet. You can see there Larrea hanging around perhaps where he shouldn't be. We'll take a look, here we go.
More just a tangling of legs. Richie Larrea, he comes in after the fact as Thompson's on the ball. Is there a kick out? Is there a thrust? Or just a tangling and wrestling of legs? Something Larrea. Yeah, Larrea. He's always wanting to get involved, isn't he? That's a part of his game.
Spiky. Wow, the ground's shaking under us at the moment. They're really giving it a go, the TFC fans, and you've got to credit them. This is a team with 1 home win, 6 defeats and 2 draws. And indeed, their run in front of the fans here has been nothing short of dreadful. 16 defeats in 26 matches here, 9 in the last 12. Free kick Charlotte, who lead 1-0. Thompson's header, still not away. Ajimang. Booted upfield.
Great ball from Westwood. Great free kick. Just needed a towering header to come in from his side.
Flores coming out and Coelho coming in. A great example of how the time substitution works so well. Look at how quickly Flores got off. Coelho on, no hanging around.
I don't think you get any rewards for getting off.
Maybe you get a bonus these days if you don't incur the 10 seconds.
The next player can get 20 seconds then.
Yeah. Corbanu, Ream across, shadows it out of play. Real rush of substitutions. 9 games in the month for the Crown. Cohen Vargas is going to come on. The match momentum is presented by Old Spice, so we take a look at a game largely dominated by Charlotte. Look at that first half momentum. And then, ironically, as you pointed out at the time, Ross, the goal came just in that moment against that initial run of play. It's been a little bit of a spike here or there for TFC since. And again, a couple of other chances for Charlotte to put this one to bed. They haven't done, and that's why it's actually quite an intriguing contest now, with all the changes on the field as well, with just 6 minutes plus stoppages to go. And here goes Insigne. He's got Derek Etienne Jr. outside him. Free arriving in the box as well. Coelho. Corbanu. 10 Charlotte players back behind the ball. And the cross deflected behind for a corner.
Just see Insigne on the far side, cutting a lonely figure, putting his arms out to the side, saying, I've come down that way and the ball's gone away from me.
Cohen Vargas coming into the game. Leal Abada will feel like on another night he could have had 2 or 3. A little frustrated, the Israeli. Scored at home against Toronto last year. And indeed, you would have thought he might have added to his tally of 6-game winners in MLS. He came very close. Last 5 minutes, though. This game is still far from over. Coelho's corner. Privit's header. And nodded on by Vargas. His first touch, and here he goes, taking up possession as Larrea took out Zaha, and then Larrea takes out the substitute as well and goes into the book. That is making an impact.
2 for 1. 2 fouls from him, 1 booking. Zaha, good little skill here. And there's Vargas, he was going to have to go himself. A lot of Toronto players around, it feels a little bit on his back. Goes to the ground and Larrea goes into the book.
3rd Toronto player into the book of Joe Dickerson tonight. There is Richie Larrea. Years of age now, and Robin Fraser will know all about his abilities, his qualities, and some of that experience out on the field for the second half of the season. Of course, Larrea will be off with Canada for a chunk of the summer. Gold Cup to come. Williamson's turn, and that's a foul. Is it from Coelho? No, says the referee. Not enough contact. It's a goal kick. So after a relentless run, Charlotte stay on the road. They go to Philadelphia on June the 14th, 7:30 Eastern for that one. Cody Thompson with a nice skill. They got games in Philly, Kansas City and Chicago, all before they return home to face Orlando City. And of course, they've been largely on the road this month as well. To mention in the first half, 9 of 11 in this run. 3 minutes to go. He's just sensed there might be a chance coming for Toronto. And here it comes for Larea. And now for Insigne. Oh, his first touch let him down. And the cross. Errant from Batretta.
For a moment, you thought that was going to open up for Larea, who came inside and surprised the Charlotte back line. But enough bodies around in the end to block the shot. He just cuts in, and it's Privet. Gets his big leg there, and to your point, Tony, Insigne, just his touch wasn't a good one, his first one, and the opportunity went away.
Inside the last 2 minutes. I mean, the statistics, if you hadn't watched the game, or even if you had watched the game, most of the chances, if you boil this down to 5 minutes of highlights, it would be all Charlotte, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But 1-0's a dangerous score.
That one moment from Brie Nielsen that Bingham has come out to make the save.
For this Charlotte group, 19 goals conceded in May. Insigne has the cross, and it's Melander away. Of course, this Charlotte team, really, the identity they built last year under Dean Smith was one of being so solid. The identity of this TFC team at the moment seems to be slender losses. Adjumang stretching. He's got away. Defender coming across as Adjumang bears down, tucks inside and tucks it into the corner, and that will be 3 points for the Crown. And the US men's national team striker, Patrick Adjumang, wraps up 3 points. He's got the call from his country, and he's calling here to say this is a big road win for the Crown. Toronto 0, Charlotte 2.
Well, he shows you everything there, Adjumang, as to why he is one of the most feared strikers in this league. But credit to Zaha, because as soon as he gets on the ball, it doesn't even need to look. He knows that there's space there. And Adjumang, he sends Thompson to the ground, and then he cuts inside so well against Coelho. Just needs to open up that bit of space. And when he cuts inside, he's got the right side of the goal at his mercy and tucks it in. It's clinical. What a handful this man is on his day.
6th goal of the season. It's an 8th in all competitions for Patrick Adjumang.
Toronto, they're wanting a foul there with Thompson and Adjumang, but it's a coming together between two bodies, and he's just out-muscled Thompson.
There was also a caution issued in the ensuing argument after the goal, because Sean Johnson was straight out there. They did want a foul for the physical contact leading up to that. Well, it's a second goal that Charlotte have deserved on the basis of their play in the game.
It's Zaha again though, Tony. Zaha started off the goal for Pep Biel, ball into Abada. It was his ball in there to Adjumang. There was thought behind that ball in behind.
Added time is presented by Audi. We're into the 4 minutes at the end of this one. It's another brutal night, it seems, for TFC. It's another night for the emerging star that is Patrick Adjumang. He will go off to international duty, the June camp. And, of course, he has a couple of goals for his country already. And right now, in a US team that is searching for the answers and for the options ahead of next year, the biggest year yet. He's somebody who's stepping up.
Every game he plays, he creates an opportunity, a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity. And if he had been more clinical so far this year, Tony, he'd be in the Golden Boot race. Every single match you watch, there's a moment Adjumang on his own does something to open up the goal. He starts being a little bit more clean, like what we saw there with Coelho, that bit of calm, to cut it in and to coolly place it into the back of the net. Goodness me. He's got all the attributes that there's not one defender in this league would look forward to going up against him.
Petretta was the man who went into the book, by the way, after the goal. Well, Patrick Agyemang scored the late goal that won Charlotte this match at Bank of America Stadium last year. There's Petretta who goes in the book. A few tempers being frayed. That's Petretta going into the book. But there was an incident after the goal as well, in which the yellow card was brandished. I'm actually wondering whether possibly Agyemang got it for taking his shirt off.
Yes.
Final 60 seconds then. Well, this has been a rotten month really for TFC, but Brillianton trying to change something with a shot from distance wide of the target. Robin Fraser's problems mount. Said you never ever rest in this job. He admitted you don't sleep much. He hasn't been sleeping much. He's constantly thinking about what he can do, what he can change, the options he's got. Because he's still with a number of players out. Franklin, Gomez, Kerr, Wingo back injured again. Simmermansic's been injured. He's got the boost of Larrea back tonight, but no boosts on the field. Charlotte dominated this one. Ultimately, though, they left it late to make it absolutely safe. And they won by 2-0 on the road. Only their second away win of the season, ending their own losing streak. But the losing streak well and truly continuing for Toronto here at BMO Field. Patrick Agyemang adding to Pep Biel's earlier goal. 2 second-half efforts. More frustration for Lorenzo Insigne and co. as Toronto slipped to a 7th defeat now in 10 home games here. Sean Johnson, another good night for him on his birthday, the 36-year-old. Ultimately, though, he can't keep everything out. And so ultimately, it's Charlotte that get the win. This is the player of the match.
Pep Biel, shouts of MVP to start the season. His form had dipped off of recent, but back to his best again. A couple opportunities in the first half. Should have tucked one away in that first half. But makes no mistake in the second half as Leal Abada just squares it across and he tucks it in to get Charlotte's noses in front.
So Pep Biel, who's been an absolute master for Charlotte this season. There's Miles Joseph saying hi to Sean Johnson. Patrick Agyemang signing off as he goes off to international duty, and once again finding the net and broad smiles from him. And some relief as well for Charlotte. It's been a rough run for them, but they get the win.
And now 2 wins in 3. As
it is 2 wins in 3.
Has said, and how the outlook is a lot different. And Charlotte were sensational tonight. They showed the best of all of their front 4 pieces. Now they can hurt you in so many different ways.
3 points and a clean sheet for Charlotte. They win on the road. TFC 0, Charlotte 2. We'll have the post-game next.
At AT&T, we confidently guarantee our network.
Oh, no.
What we can't guarantee, you and your teammates being too connected.
What up, Chet?
Double oh no.
I texted you guys I was gonna wear.
I wore that last week.
I got dressed first this morning. I thought you said you were gonna wear
A connection means something. That's why with AT&T, we'll proactively make it right with a credit for a full day of service if there is a network interruption. That's the AT&T guarantee.
This summer, the center of the soccer world is right here. The world's best, the world's game, all in your backyard. 4 major moments. One summer like no other. Learn more at MLSsoccer.com.
Fast as an hour with express delivery. Welcome to your Walmart.
I'm in love, and it's all because of Angela,
Who's Angela?
a neighborhood savant. She's technically my agent.
You're in love with the house?
Condo, dude. Keep up.
Condo. Maybe I need an Angela.
Take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. Be my girl. Are you gonna be my girl?
When you're with Amex Platinum, you can enjoy the Centurion Lounge and access to incredible experiences worldwide. So being a fan for life turns into the trip of a lifetime. That's the powerful backing of American Express.
Welcome back to BMO Field. The Marshall Ruddy family are out in force tonight. It's a happy return for the former TFC starlet because his current employers, Charlotte FC, have won here by 2-0, a second away win of the season for the Crown. They've both come in Canada. The match highlights are presented by the powerful backing of American Express. Two teams who've been struggling for form coming into this one, despite the performances being praised by their respective head coaches. But on the night, very much all Charlotte.
Well, this was some goal. The way that Charlotte works the ball into the area, it's all to do with Abada's first touch there to eliminate Petretta. Gets on the other side of him and then manage to toe poke it across to BL, who has the tap it, and then this imagine it's what he's all about. Strength, power, pace, but now showing this side to his game, a bit of finesse. Such a great cutback, and then find that side of the goal to put the game on ice as he heads off to the USA camp for the Gold Cup.
Patrick Adjumang, 4-4 for him now. Look at that XG on the night, and the 18 shots to TFC's 7. The only question really through this game was just whether Charlotte would go on and get the second to kill off any chances of a TFC comeback. So that was really the only jeopardy we had going into the game. Let's get some reaction. Charlotte skipper Ashley Westwood.
So 3 points on the road. What does this victory mean for the team?
It was huge. I mean, obviously it's not been a very good month for us. We've been on the road. We've got a 2-week break now, so we wanted to come here, get a victory, and enjoy the 2 weeks and put us back on track. I think tonight we were much more like the Charlotte you saw in the early start of the season. So it was a huge win tonight and a lot of pressure on us.
Consistency is something that the team is looking for. What can you tell us is a path for that to happen?
Tonight was about getting back to basics. I mean, we've actually been playing well, but not been getting the results. We've been making mistakes that cost us. So tonight it was about playing in their half, not making mistakes, making them make mistakes, and that, at the end of the day, that's what was the game today.
Next game is Philadelphia. You're gonna have some time to rest. What you guys are looking forward for that game?
The break, first of all. I mean, it's been really tough. Saturday, Wednesday on the road. We've had one home game. So yeah, we'll have a good rest, and then we'll go there with full of confidence, and hopefully we can go and get a result and put us back on track and push for that top 4 again.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ashley Westwood there, Ross, as we see the Marshall Ruddies, a family reunion in the stands here, but just reflecting on what we heard from Ashley Westwood, I think they're all looking forward to just a chance to put the feet up for a few days.
Certainly, and I think they look forward to seeing a different side of their manager. I can imagine that Dean Smith would have given those players an earful, and to get back on track to what Westwood had to say and to enjoy these next 2 weeks now that the schedule is going to lighten up a bit.
Yeah, they have got that break now, although they'll be on the road for the next 3 still, but 14th of June seems a long way away now before Charlotte go to Philadelphia. An utterly convincing 2-0 scoreline. The second goal would ultimately mean they could come out in smiles, because there were just a few nervous moments before that as TFC threatened a comeback that ultimately wouldn't have been deserved on the night. Pep Biel got them started though. Adjumang finished it off. 2-0, Charlotte won.
If I was a flower grown wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree grown tall and green,